The bad actor. Yeah, I'm not surprised that she's at the top of our suspect list. I ran into her once, back when I had that little vacation from the force. I had an office down in Old Town, at the foot of Avalon Hill, smashed between a stack of old Dragon magazines and the Baltic Avenue tenements. She came through the door too fast for me to grab the air freshener, or my zapper. I asked her, "How can I help you, ma'am?" Everything about her said bad news, but the rent was coming due and I thought I had more to fear from the Monopoly man than her.
You got me wrong, Detective. It's how I can help you.
I was wrong. She made the Monopoly man look like a Scotty dog. Whatever you're selling, I ain't buying.
I'm not even selling. In fact, I know some editors that could take those old papers off your hands. For a moderate connection fee, of course.
So that was the racket. Pay to publish. The whole nation of academia is built on a simple triangle economy. Journals have prestige, researchers have research, and universities have cash. Journals want research, universities want prestige, and researchers need cash to keep body and soul together. The journals get their prestige by being selective. That's why they have peer reviewers and editors to filter out the junk, which forces researchers to do their best work. It's a flawed system. Reviewers filter out a lot of bad, but a lot of good too. Sometimes a paper gets rejected because a reviewer doesn't like your Oxford comma. You cited their ex-husband one too many times. Or you just got put at the very bottom of a very tall stack, and they are only getting paid in prestige, just like you.
Do you mind if I eat a carrot?
This is a whole other level of bad. Used to be every subject had only a couple journals, and everyone knew them. Now, every little burg like Ludology has dozens. Anybody can hang up a shingle and charge to print a paper. The existing filter is flawed, but taking it away opens up a sewer of bad practice and misinformation. Universities and other folks with cash should catch this, but tenure and hiring committees are extra duties for some rat running their own race. Some researchers who pay to publish are unethical. Some do it out of ignorance. And some are plain old desperate. I wasn't unethical or ignorant. You need to get out of here.
Oh, where are you taking me?
Nowhere. I'm not interested in your scam journals.
I have more than that to offer. And is that any way to talk in the presence of a lady?
Did Princess Peach walk in behind you? I don't see any ladies in here.
Now I am insulted. You will have to make it up to me with a drink.
Shodan helped me, but I said yes.
Do you know what your problem is?
Yeah, that I'm still talking to you.
Oh, I'm wounded. No, it's that your fingers aren't as fast as that tongue of yours.
Good research takes time.
Good research? But so many other people have already published good research.
I'm not gonna rip off someone else's research. I ain't no plagiarist.
How scandalous. Plagiarism is strictly kiddie stuff nowadays. So easy to detect if anyone takes the time. Not that people usually do. Oh, this looks like our kind of play.
It was not the sort of place that good guys go. I half expected GLaDOS to be slinging drinks behind the bar, but it was just a minion joint.
You're a man of strong beliefs. I can see that. So you must believe in what your research shows. Maybe it just needs to show a little more.
I don't follow you.
Oh, but you are following me. Before you start a project, you make rules, don't you? What data to include and what to kick out.
Of course. Good methodology gets set before your first data point is collected.
But that methodology is just a deal between you and the laptop. What's to prevent you from renegotiating, nudging the data a bit at the end? You could just delete a couple cells that don't support your hypothesis. They were probably just random noise anyway. You know you're right about your theory, and everyone else could know too with just a couple of Clicks.
That's when I ran. I ran and I kept running. Data manipulation. That's a temptation every researcher has felt. When you realize that if you had set things up just a little different, all the pieces would fall into place. Exclude this, include that, maybe a little double counting. It can be so subtle you may not even notice it yourself, but that's a quick ticket to a front row seat in the bad actor show. You set up the methodology and you follow the methodology. Conclusions come from the data, not the other way around.
Do you like her for the murder?
That's the only thing I could like her for. The bad actor is all kinds of bad.
Why are you talking like that?
Sorry. No, I actually don't think that this is the result of a bad actor.
Why?
There are indicators. Everything included in the study, on both sides of the video game violence debate, is from reputable journals. No pay to publish is involved.
Uh-huh.
Plagiarism just doesn't factor into this. I don't think that they were all copying each other's homework to get the same result.
What about data manipulation?
It's impossible to rule out. That's why manipulation is so insidious. It happens at the stage where only a researcher has seen the data. There is some evidence that manipulation may have been propping up the idea that playing violent games makes you take violent actions in real life. Studies in the meta-analysis that were pre-registered mostly didn't support the idea. So, if you make the rules of your study public before you carry it out, which is best practice nowadays, it's less likely to support violent gameplay theory.
But it's not conclusive.
No. And this just doesn't stink like the bad actor's cheap perfume and carrots.
Just the facts, Wormkey.
I think we need to look at the rest of the suspects. Humans like to have good guys and bad guys. Good things happen because of good guys, and bad things happen because of bad guys. Nice and simple. Storytellers like me reinforce this. Try to name 10 blockbuster movies that don't have villains. They certainly exist, but it's probably easier to name 50 that do. Unfortunately, that means that when we see something wrong in the world, we tend to start thinking about who to blame, and not how to fix the problem. There is a crisis in all the social sciences right now. It started in psychology, but it spread rapidly. It's a long story, and I may tell that story one of these days, but the short of it is, some scientists used high-profile, published studies as recipes to produce their own studies. This is good practice. It's called a replication study, and they should be very boring. You already know what will happen when you replicate a study. Whatever happened the first time should happen in the second. But these didn't. That led more people to do more replication studies, and a lot of those didn't get the same results. Some of these are old and widely cited studies. If their results are wrong, then could all the later research that was built on those studies also be tainted? You can see why we call it a crisis. When a lot of people learn about this, they think that the authors of the original studies must have lied or done something else immoral. The temptation is easy to see. A splashy publication with a low p-value and a high amount of relevance can make a researcher's career. And it has happened. If you want to really get into the details of scientists behaving badly, go over to the Data Colada blog. They are the real data detectives. I just play one on YouTube. Scientists are people, and not all people have the same measure of morality. Data has been falsified, plagiarism has happened, the pay-to-publish journals that I mentioned exist and exacerbate the problem. We call the people that commit these crimes against science bad actors. However, bad actors didn't cause the crisis in social sciences. And they were not behind the surprising results of the meta-analysis that this series is dissecting. The fact is that most scientists are working in good faith and not cheating. Why does bad research happen to good scientists? That's what the next couple of episodes are about. Thanks for joining me for Empirically Good. Next time, we will track down the systemic gang.